Okay, so the voice is kind of going on strike here. Strike back. So we're going in overtime today. So once again, this is all 12 keys. And all I did was do the 3 notes in the triads for the major, root 3, 5, 2, 4, 6, 3, 5, 7, 4, 6 root, 5, 7, 2, 6, root 3, 7, 2, 4 for that half diminished. And by the way, with P5, we don't even have to play that half diminished 7th. Okay? We don't have to play that. Because in the guitar, it's a little more difficult to get that with the way the tuning goes. So we often use the 6 there. I don't have the little chart for that, and I don't have that memorized, but I'd probably play a fully diminished chord, which isn't in the mode. So I'm just giving you a heads up. We have it. I did not put the 6th on here. Now remember, this is raw. This is raw numbers here. The 7th, the 2nd, and the 4th is your half diminished there. Okay. Now I call it half diminished, but really the triad diminished and half diminished are the same. With a 4-note chord, half diminished is like, and fully diminished is okay. The bad timed chord, right? Unless you play it right, it's a good substitution chord. It can really sound super duper in some of the older songs. So this is where it's at. Notice, and I had to check these 4, 7. We got a row of 4, 7s here. Then we have a row of 2s here. This is how I check them really fast. Row of 4, 7. And notice, in each one of these boxes, we have a repeat. See here, we have D3 here and D3 here. Okay, why didn't I just take this? Why didn't I just take this, copy it, okay, and then put it over here? Why didn't I do this? Well, guess what? I did do that to make it a continuous fretboard, and I ended up with what? 7 cages. I want all 12. We want all 12. So what's the purpose of this exercise? This chart is to enable playing in any key and therefore get familiar with this, with the cello, fiddle, violin. Now you can just look at the fretboard up here. This is the cello, fiddle, violin fretboard. I didn't put the header up here because I never know what I'm going to put on top of these things like labels. So again, we have our little dial thing. I'm going to move over here for a minute. Okay, we have our instrument panel right here. These guys, the key, let's just zoom in and look at something a little closer here. We have, this is the key and this is the LPN. So this would be the LPN. Of course, we have the, right here. This is the LPN 5. This is the key of 4. Okay, so here's the key of 4. Here's the LPN 5. Here's the key of 7 flat. Here's the LPN of 2. Okay, so key of 7 flat corresponds on the clock to the 2. This is kind of like a cheat method, but it works. I don't like to use it, but I use it to check what we're doing. Alrighty. So we got about 5 minutes left, and I think it wouldn't be fair if we didn't do any playing at all. Did some, a fair amount of charting. And just keep in mind that these are the modals and these are the different keys. This would be the root key. If C is the lowest playable note, which it is, then we would be in the key of of root, and it's a system based on the white keys of the piano, right? Okay, here's your dot scale, and here's your the accidentals are the other 5 keys. So let's look. We got root. Remember, this is the fret nut, okay? In every single one of them. But I like to make the color the same as the color of the box. So you see yellow here, gray for Lydian, gray blue for Locrian. Notice this is Locrian even though it doesn't have Locrian as the lowest playable note. But that is how we play that. We just would use those notes instead of the open string there. This is unmistakable, people, because you got the root right there. So if you have a C there, this is definitely the key of D. All right, so that, you know, I put, it's a Locrian build, so I didn't put the D color there. I put the Locrian color there. So let's use the yellow. Okay, this is going to be the fret nut. All right, on all the yellow ones, this is going to be the fret nut. Okay, this is going to be the fret nut. This is going to be the fret. And then we go to over on the Lydian, we'll get a nice gray color or something. This is the fret nut. It's like a conveyor belt, right? This is the fret nut. Same thing here. You got the exact same piece of the fretboard going vertically. Okay, it's just that one we're going to just be looking at root 3/5, the other we're going to be looking at 2/4/6. Okay, that kind of thing. That's what we got going on. We're going to have to scroll, and the lines don't follow the scroll unless you go to a program called Zoom In, and that's, you know, we'd be zooming around the same screen. It's kind of one way to do things, but I couldn't deal with it. So right here we've got root 5 on the open strings, and then we've got this this is the shape of a major chord in P5. It's an upside down E, if you'll recall. Then we go to a minor shape. Is going to be an upside down A minor shape kind of thing. Even though there's no tuning warp involved, it just looks like an A minor, if you will. So when we're going to the second, we want to hit that D and the A, D and A. That's weird. And it has a nice major 7th sound, because up here the E, we're not hitting that. If you want to hit that, you've got to you know, kind of do one of these four finger chords. Back up to that one. Okay, whoa, I almost spilled my bang. Okay, so then we're going to look at 3/5/7. Now this is just in this key, so 3/5/7 might be a little difficult in this key, because we're up here on the 3rd. In this particular box, it might be better to stay up here. Okay, so it'd be 3/7/5 up here, and then maybe this 7th down here, but it'd be the top 3 strings here. There's your E minor. And we move along. Now, of course, in other keys, you might find it more comfortable to work in other keys. The other thing I want to show you is that if you look at, I guess we're not going to get to that much playing, but you look at this shape here, and then you look at the 4th, it's moved down, and the 5th, it's moved up. So it's easy to get that 4th shape. Alright, so that's what we're going to be doing for this season. Thank you for watching. If you like these videos, like and subscribe. Follow the instructions below to access Andy's free guitar chart videos on Facebook. And it's been great. Happy New Year to you.